How good is this new DOMi and JD Beck album? Keep watching to find out. Coffee and Beats is back. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another episode, another edition of Coffee and Beats. I'm your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, and I got a lot of albums to talk about on this one. But before I get into all of that and coffee recommendations, feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like, hit the bell for notifications so that everyone can get this. Comment below. The description, all of the songs that I'm recommending on this episode are in the description down below. Take heed of those, add those to your playlist, and share it with your loved ones because I'm sure they will all love to hear this. Now, I'm about to get right into my coffee recommendation for today, and this one is from this coffee brand called Friendly's. I'm no sponsor to this, but here it is. This is a nice little flavor for you, Friendly's, and it is a chocolate marshmallow swirl, and you can combine this with a nice creamer of your choice. I think this one goes good with any creamer that you combine it with. It's really good. It's a medium roast, so for all my medium roast heads out there, I'm sure you will enjoy this particular recommendation. All right, now that I got my coffee recommendations out the way, we're about to get right into these reviews because I got a lot of albums to get into, starting off with a new EP by R&B singer Sidibe, and the name of this EP is called Diamond in the Desert. This is the third EP from the song Stress. Sidibe, she's back on the grind after her romantic throwback ode to the early 90s R&B era on her 2021 release Saturn Returns, and that was an EP as well. And here she hits us with an EP with more elegant and laid-back production with Diamond in the Desert. Now, this EP features 7 songs, rounding off at about 24 minutes. This is definitely a nice treat from Sidibe. I will list all the key songs to add to your playlist down in the description. And for those not familiar with her music, well, if you are a fan of the likes of artists such as Emile LaRue or Gawapale, or someone more modern like Shanae Harnett, you will definitely enjoy this short project. The melodies on this album are very warm, they're very inviting, they're exhilarating. The production isn't so loud that it drowns out her voice. I really like the pacing of this EP as well. I like the little interludes chopped in the middle to make it feel like it's an album, but it's really not. I really appreciate this project. I usually do not do a number rating on EPs, but I would give this a soothing out of 10. That's how I felt listening to this project. It goes down smooth like a warm cup of constant comment. It's definitely
a share the aux with your significant other
type of EP, so check it out. I think you will really enjoy it if you're a fan of nice smooth R&B and neo soul. Up next, we got Jazz is Dead with their 13th installment, and this features the band Catalyst. Now, this is the 13th installment of the Jazz is Dead series, which is led by singer-songwriter Adrian Young and assisted by Tribe Called Quest member Ali Shaheed. Yes, the one that doesn't say anything in the videos and you guys think he has no contributions to Tribe Called Quest, but he does. And
put some respect on his name.
Now, Catalyst is the group that gets the attention on this one, and this is a part 2 of their second series of albums. They started off part 1 with Jean Carney, which I reviewed in previous episodes. Here we find Adrian and Ali managing to stay consistent with their projects and the visions that they have when they collaborate with all of these legendary musicians have been a match made in musical heaven. For example, I absolutely love the Jean Carney collaboration to kick off season 2, which is one of my favorite albums of the year, by the way. And however, the Catalyst collab falls a little bit short of matching the energy that was on the Jean Carnet project, but I am not disappointed in this project because this focused more on instrumentation rather than the vocals. And that's similar to a lot of Jazz is Dead projects that were in the past. Just a little history on Catalyst if you're not familiar with them. They formed in 2014 and it is a collective of contemporary producers, composers, and session musicians. Ali Shaheed in a recent interview compared them to Earth, Wind and Fire before they became a household name. He also described them as a band trying to find its identity in an ever so changing musical world. And this band also features the likes of Brian Hargrove, who is the brother of the late great Roy Hargrove. This is a very smooth sailing album. The very funky grooves on here are nice, and at the same time it's relaxing. This definitely gives me Herbie Hancock vibes from the early 70s to late 60s. Herbie Hancock vibes on this one. I mean, you will definitely be guaranteed a very relaxing and comfortable experience. I give this album an 8 out of 10. Jazz is Dead seems to have shaken out of the slump. They're getting me back here. They're getting back on their grind. They're getting back to that passion that they had with their first projects on the first season of Jazz is Dead, and I really like this one. It's now 2 in a row in this season 2 of this series, so I look forward to hearing more from Ali Shaheed and Adrian Young. Up next, we got Robohands, Violet. Now, Robohands takes us outer space with another solar system surfing project, and this is his third album featuring 12 tracks, clocking in at around 30 minutes. And I was introduced to Robohands by a fellow coworker of mine who put me up on his 2021 release, Shapes, and I was thoroughly impressed with that album. If I had caught it earlier in 2021, it would have made my end of the year list. However, it wasn't until I listened to it in the wintertime that I was like, let me follow this dude a little bit more to see if he's got some more tricks up his sleeve come his next project. I didn't have to wait long with this new collective effort, and although this got me super excited to listen to this project, I was a little let down by the second leg of this album. The first half of the album gets off to a stellar start with mellowed out and chilled sounds and chilled grooves on songs like String Fillings, other songs like Wildfire and Nightshade. However, the energy tails off during the midpoint with more ambient sounding production, which will make you think you are listening to two different albums. The song Introjection, which is the closing track, puts the icing on the cake with its very bland and lifeless exit. It left me feeling incomplete. And at the end of the day, I give this album a just okay out of 10. This project might be his weakest to date based off his previous two efforts, but it's still some good gems off here. If you have a mellow playlist that you would like to add more mellow tracks to, this is definitely an album that you want to gravitate towards. I'm still a fan, but hopefully we can get a little bit more well-roundedness off the next project. But give it a try. I would say give this album a try, and if you like it, hey, kudos to you. If you don't, hey, don't jump off the bandwagon, because I'm not. And last but not least, I could not wait to get to this album. DOMi and JD Beck with their new album, debut album, Not Tight. And this is the debut album that came out of nowhere from this dynamic duo, which hits us with some jazz-tastic 15 songs rounding off at around 45 minutes. Now, you may look at this album cover and say to yourself, how in the world did these two artists manage to get features from the likes of Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg, and of all people, one of my personal favorites, Herbie Hancock? Well, the reason being is because Anderson .Paak was so impressed with this band that he signed him to his upstart record label. You may ask, when did this impression happen? Well, you don't have to look far, because last year, the hit record Silk Sonic, it featured an instrumental guest appearance from the duo on the track Skate. It was like love at first sight. His love for this duo was so strong that Anderson asked both artists, while signing them, who would they want to feature on their new project. And those were their requests. Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg, Herbie Hancock, Mac DeMarco.
Come on.
DOMi and JD have been together since 2018 and both are very young at age. But if I blindfolded you and played this album for you from front to back, you would think that this would be something like a Bad Bad Not Good Thundercat collaboration. But once the blindfold is removed, you see that it was these two youngsters getting down through this entire project, and you would be in disbelief. Although I was blown away by the features on this record with tracks such as Pilot, which features two smooth and monotone deliveries from Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg, and a jazz onslaught on the track Moon with Herbie Hancock. It is the solo performances by this group that I was the most impressed with. This duo's futuristic, jazzy soundscapes keeps the listeners engaged. It challenges the ears to keep up with the frenetic pace of some of its musical passages, such as the speedy drum play of JD Beck. It's almost like a drum and bass type style. Some of the musical passages are great. They're catchy. DOMi is amazing on the keys as she controls both bass and regular piano and combines it so well with JD's drum play and his tightness at the drums. This was a well put together crop of jazz infused production all across the board, and it also combines a little bit of hip hop, a little bit electronic into the mix. I'm going to list all my favorite tracks in the description box below, but I'm beyond impressed with this debut album from DOMi and JD Beck. This album is a heavy candidate for album of the year in my book. I definitely give this album a 9.5 out of 10. If you haven't done so already, too, please check out their Tiny Desk performance that they just dropped not too long ago. It's very impressive. Just a very impressive performance by these two youngsters. They're still a little shy as far as their stage presence, but once they get the popularity going, they're really going to loosen up, and their fan base is going to grow very quickly. I already see it coming. This is absolutely an amazing debut, and I recommend that you do not miss out on it. 9.5 out of 10 for me. I really appreciate this album. So pleasantly surprised, and you will be too. And that will do it for this edition of Coffee and Beats. I'm your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. Again, if you haven't hit that like button or subscribe button, please do yourself a favor, do that for the YouTube. Also follow me on Instagram. Also follow my podcast that's available on all podcasting platforms. I have a few mixtapes on there. Actually, I just dropped a new mixtape. It's a Ninth Wonder tribute, and basically it was a recording session of one of my first DJ sets that I normally do and take part of on Twitch. So follow me on that too. All of those links will be down below. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace. Watch your